Meghan Markle is facing controversy after her niece claimed she was the surrogate in Meghan's pregnancy.
The shocking allegations surrounding Meghan Markle and her family have just erupted once again. Rumors that Meghan faked her pregnancies were once dismissed as wild internet noise, but by the end of 2025, they've exploded back into the spotlight, and this time it's not going away. In the center of this storm is a name that has everyone whispering: Ashley Hale, Meghan's niece, the daughter of Samantha Markle, a woman who has long been rumored to step forward and unveil the truth behind the family's secrets. Suddenly, Ashley Hale is dragged into the limelight, her name plastered all over headlines as the whispers grow louder and more intense. She's talking, and what she has to say is shaking the very foundation of the royal family's carefully crafted image. Alongside Ashley's bold claims are mentions of records, clinic records, appointment schedules, travel documents, emails, contracts, and an ENDA. Yes, an ENDA. These scattered pieces of evidence seem to hint at something much larger than what Meghan's camp has been telling the public. It's enough to make you wonder, was Meghan really pregnant? Or was this all a carefully orchestrated game? And when Meghan's camp fired back, fiercely denying everything, it only fueled the fire. The public grew more and more suspicious. Could it be that Meghan used a surrogate to carry her children only to leave them behind once the job was done? The silence from Meghan was deafening, and it was a silence that only made people question further. The controversy reached new heights when Meghan and Harry released their 2025 Christmas card, designed to show a picture-perfect family, Archie and Lilibet, beaming with smiles placed right in the center. It looked like any other royal greeting, except for one thing: it was too perfect, too flawless, and social media wasn't having it. The card became a lightning rod for criticism. People didn't just question the authenticity of the photo, they dove deeper, pulling up comparisons between the children and Ashley Hale. Yes, people started to dissect facial features, hair colors, jawlines, and more. The resemblance was undeniable. How could this be? Is it a coincidence, or is there something Meghan's been hiding? It didn't take long for this theory to spread like wildfire. One post asked, do Archie and Lilibet really look like Meghan's niece, or is this all part of a bigger lie? And suddenly, the internet was alive with accusations, theories, and debates. As old footage of Meghan's public appearances during her pregnancies resurfaced, critics tore apart her baby bump, questioning its authenticity. If there's nothing shady here, why hasn't it been properly explained? One viral comment read, sparking hundreds of responses from people who shared the same suspicions. The internet was no longer whispering, people were now loudly accusing Meghan of deception. As the conversation snowballed, Ashley Hale's name became the talk of every social media platform. Her name appeared everywhere, and the rumors around her intensified. Sources began to hint that Ashley would step forward and share her side of the story, bringing this growing controversy to a head. This wasn't just idle gossip anymore. This was about to become a public showdown. But before Ashley spoke, the tension escalated further with whispers from those close to her. According to these insiders, Ashley had once confided in them about her involvement in something much bigger than what the public had ever suspected. She wasn't just Meghan's niece, she was allegedly the surrogate who carried both Archie and Lilibet. Can you imagine the shockwaves this caused? According to these accounts, Ashley was never meant to be in the shadows. She thought she was part of something more, a family agreement, a deeply personal arrangement where she wasn't merely a surrogate, but a woman trusted with the gift of carrying Meghan's children. But once the babies were born, things changed. It was as if her role had been erased. Not only did she feel undercompensated for the physical and emotional toll it took on her, but she was also allegedly pushed aside, left to fade into the background like her involvement had never existed. This wasn't a simple dispute. Ashley, according to her close friends, felt betrayed. She had cared for Meghan's children with all her heart, only to have her name wiped from the records. No acknowledgement, no public recognition, not even a simple thank you. She was bound by an ENDA that kept her from speaking out, but now it seemed the walls were starting to crack. Ashley's silence became a ticking time bomb, with fragments of evidence surfacing at every corner: clinic records, emails, contracts, tiny pieces of a puzzle that Meghan's camp had tried so hard to keep hidden. Each new detail only added fuel to the fire, and the story that had once seemed impossible to believe was slowly turning into a nightmare for Meghan. Ashley Ashley's stance became clearer when she made a cryptic statement that sent shockwaves through the entire narrative. "I have Dina results, but I will not post them online to turn children into entertainment," she said. This was a game changer. She was acknowledging that the ultimate proof, the Dina, existed, but she was not willing to let the public drag her family into the spectacle. This one line caused a wave of mixed reactions. Some praised her for protecting the children, while others slammed her for withholding the evidence that could end the controversy once and for all. The speculation around this statement only grew louder when Ashley reportedly instructed her lawyer to send formal notices to medical clinics and individuals involved in the pregnancy process, demanding that no records be altered or erased. It was clear that Ashley wasn't just casually playing along with these rumors. She was preparing for something bigger, something official, and the very fact that she was holding on to this evidence meant that she had every intention of revealing it at the right time. Was she waiting for the right moment, or was she being forced to stay silent by some higher power? This new layer of the story added a dark twist to everything. Meghan, for her part, denied everything, calling the accusations fabricated and shameful, but the damage was done. The public was no longer buying her smooth, controlled responses. The questions continued to mount, and with Ashley seemingly gearing up for a legal battle, things were about to get even messier. As the situation dragged on, more and more insiders from Meghan's camp spoke out, trying to discredit Ashley and label her as someone seeking attention. But despite the constant denials, the evidence continued to grow. Did Meghan really carry Archie and Lilibet herself, or was the truth that she used a surrogate, a story she worked tirelessly to conceal? No one seemed willing to provide the concrete answers, and that left the public in suspense, hanging on every rumor, every unverified detail. As the days passed, the silence from Meghan's camp only intensified the controversy. Meghan's closest allies, her friends, her defenders, continued to vehemently deny any truth to the accusations. They painted Ashley Hale as an attention seeker, someone who was desperate for her moment in the spotlight. But despite their efforts to discredit her, something about Ashley's silence felt far more powerful than any rebuttal from Meghan's side. Every unanswered question, every unexplained inconsistency in the official narrative only deepened the intrigue. Ashley's refusal to release the Dina results, while frustrating the public, seemed to hold more weight than anything Meghan's camp could say. After all, Dina is the ultimate truth, isn't it? And Ashley's statement that she was willing to undergo testing with an independent third party or under a court order wasn't just a refusal, it was a challenge. It was a direct confrontation with the narrative Meghan had been crafting for years. By not releasing the results, Ashley wasn't just maintaining control of the situation, she was saying, "I have the proof, but I will decide when it's revealed." This new layer of drama shifted the focus away from whether or not Ashley was telling the truth. It was no longer just about her role in the surrogacy rumors. It became a battle over who controlled the pace of the narrative, Meghan's camp desperately trying to keep a hold on their image, or Ashley, who had the ultimate trump card in her hands but was unwilling to play it just yet. The more Meghan's team pushed back, the more people began to question why they were so defensive. Why wouldn't they engage directly with Ashley's claims? Why wouldn't they just prove everyone wrong and lay the issue to rest once and for all? Could it be that the truth was far more complicated than Meghan wanted to admit? Or was the silence simply part of a larger, more calculated strategy to avoid the inevitable fallout? Meanwhile, the internet was alive with theories, speculations, and wild accusations. Social media exploded as images of Archie and Lilibet were endlessly compared to photos of Ashley, with users zooming in on every detail: skin tone, hair texture, jawline, even the shape of their eyes. They look exactly alike, some said. It's not a coincidence. The more people dug into the photographs, the more they found patterns that fed into the growing conspiracy theory. This wasn't just a case of curiosity, it was an obsession. Every new photograph of the children was scrutinized, analyzed, and passed around like a piece of evidence in a high-profile criminal investigation. But the fact that Meghan and Harry never publicly addressed the growing questions only made the accusations gain more traction. People began digging into the official birth announcements, trying to find any inconsistencies, any details that didn't match up with the timeline they were being told. And the more they found, the more questions they had. Could it really be that Meghan had used a surrogate without telling the public? Could it be that the royal family had been kept in the dark about how their two grandchildren came into the world? And why did it feel like so many details of the births were being kept under wraps? There were no public records, no details about the hospitals, no doctors named. The secrecy surrounding it all only added to the fuel. And people began to wonder, was this more than just a celebrity scandal? Was Was this a cover-up? In the midst of this growing frenzy, one detail remained clear: Meghan had no intention of addressing the mounting speculation directly. The brief public statement she made, denying the accusations and labeling Ashley's claims as lies, was the last word from her camp for the time being. But by remaining silent, Meghan was inadvertently allowing the story to snowball out of control. The more she refused to speak, the more the public took matters into their own hands, dissecting every clue they could find. And what of Harry? Reports suggested that Harry was growing increasingly stressed by the situation. The once promising future he had envisioned with Meghan now seemed clouded with doubt and public scrutiny. There were whispers about his emotional state, rumors that he was deeply conflicted, torn between protecting his family and confronting the truth. The pressure of keeping up with the lies, the deception, and the public's growing frustration was reportedly starting to take its toll on him. The emotional strain was palpable. Inside the palace, insiders described a sense of unease. Meghan and Harry's relationship had always been under public scrutiny, but now it seemed as though their very future as a family was in jeopardy. The silence from both sides, the silence from Meghan, the silence from Ashley, left the world waiting on tenterhooks. Every move, every silence was dissected and analyzed. The media was relentless, the public was divided, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As the days turned into weeks, the tension between the two sides only grew. Meghan's refusal to address the issue directly left Ashley with more room to maneuver. Each passing day without an official response only added fuel to the fire, leaving the public wondering, when will the truth finally come out? Will Meghan break her silence, or will Ashley be the one to expose everything? And if she does, what will the world learn? How will the royals respond? For now, all we can do is wait. But the longer this silence stretches on, the more we're left to wonder, is this the calm before the storm? Or is the truth already out there just waiting to be revealed? Or just waiting to be revealed? Or just waiting to be revealed? Or just...